Horizon Jazz Home Studio Reaction. This is F-15 Eagle, the most gangster fighter jet of all time. Another gangster series. Okay, this is obviously the Fat Electrician video, and I'm recording from mobile because I'm not in my home, in my studio. I'm actually at work, my office. Obviously, I bought a lavalier mic or whatever that is, so I hope this sounds good. This is not just like mobile recording. So yeah, I'm trying out this type of videos because I want to do as much video as I can, because I say I'm going to do this video and it's just like list has been piling off. My watch later list is like ridiculously long by now, right? I'm gonna do it later. I don't have time. I never reach my studio. It's like night time. I have to sleep, and there you go. Sometimes I don't even have to. I can't even make video. So this is the new way I'm doing. If you have like, if you don't like this, comment down. So that maybe I'll just stop doing this and go back to just only studios, because I'm still making that like original style studio videos. But this is like extra thing, right? Whenever I'm not home, I can do it type of thing. So yeah, this is about the gangster jet, because like this is there were like gangster weapons too, I guess, but it didn't say gangster, but I'm gonna call it gangster, right? With all the that ridiculous like what was that? I forgot the name, with the Gulf War thing. Literally just pour cement into a fucking barrel and throw it. There you go, 100 feet damage. And there are like many other things like that. Like he does like gangster people, some operation that ridiculous shit happen, and some weird or OP weapons. This falls into, I'm guessing, like equipment weapon, but it's a jet, but it's the same thing. So F-15 Eagle, F-15, right? That's the one. Like, wait a minute, the most famous one is F-16, isn't it? So F-15. I don't know. I've not heard of this, I guess. Or I don't know. I'm mistaken. But it's gonna be fun. Let's watch it. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. That way you can help this channel by helping the algorithm. Comment if you want to do any specific video, and let's watch it.
Today we're talking about the most gangster fighter jet of all time, the F-15 Eagle.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the American muscle car equivalent of a fighter jet. Developed during the Cold War in the early 1970s, it was designed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to establish air superiority. And being that this was the 1970s and stealth technology wasn't going to come out for another decade, Uncle Sam had to rely on good old-fashioned horsepower and gunpowder. He figured if you couldn't be sneaky enough to go unnoticed...
Oh my god, the stealth thing, right? Around this time, like there were a lot of like weird triangle shaped UFO sightings, right? A lot of it, especially around Nevada and things. And then we realized like, oh fuck me, it's like stealth bomber, which looks exactly the same, the way the photos were there, right? Like this is aliens. Obviously, they didn't want to say that we have this bomber; it was classified. But yeah, this is just like that was an insane time. Way too many photos, man. Way too many photos of like triangle UFOs, and I think that's where the Area 51 thing also intensified. But it was a bomber.
You just had to be fast enough to go
E2, whatever
untouched.
that is.
And that is exactly what they did with the F-15, because it is equipped with two Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, totaling 19,200 horsepower, which is like...
Wait a minute, man. I didn't even see that. Up. Back up, man.
He figured if you couldn't be sneaky enough to go unnoticed, you just had to be fast enough to go untouched. And that is exactly what...
What the hell? 30 million flight hours. Air Force around the world. 6,000 total accumulated cycles between. Okay. So F-15, F-16 has same engine. So they're basically the same. Is that it?
they did with the F-15, because it is equipped with two Pratt & Whitney F-100 engines, totaling 19,200 horsepower, which is like 800,000 water chickens. This plane can travel at a max speed of Mach 2.5, which is roughly 1,900 miles an hour. And here's the kicker, it's not just fast, it's quick. And if you don't...
Oh, that works. Yeah, that's a weird metric, right? Because what does horsepower have to do with flying? Doesn't matter how many horses you tie up, they're not going to fly. So I don't know. At this point, I guess you have to use like metric system rather than horsepower and shit. I guess I don't know. It makes sense. But whenever the thing changes, like it's not a ground based thing, right? So I don't know horsepower works or not. There was a Grand Tour episode, I think, where they literally tie a jet engine to a boat or something, and boat wasn't even moving because it's not that simple, right? So things change. Like I don't know what to do with those horsepower figure here.
know the difference, I'll elaborate. You can build up speed slowly and be fast, but being quick is the ability to be fast in a hurry. And the F-15 is like a drag car. It is fast the minute you hit the throttle. So fast, in fact, that you can argue that it could be classified as a rocket. Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Generally speaking, aircrafts need to do two things to fly. They need to generate lift and thrust. They need to generate enough lift to counteract gravity, so the physical weight of the aircraft, and they need to generate enough thrust to counteract drag. But here's the thing with the F-15, it has a greater than 1 thrust to weight ratio, meaning that it can generate enough pounds of thrust to offset drag and the weight of the aircraft, meaning it doesn't need to generate lift to sustain flight, which is what a fucking rocket does. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you the F-15 doesn't need to generate lift, it can just beat the atmosphere into submission. The F-15 could literally have its wing.
Oh, okay. I mean, that is some insane shit for a jet plane, man. I mean, there was a like time period where people like, as at least I remember as a kid, but some insane shit like jet planes or like just like rockets. They just associated those together, and I never understood that. But I guess might be this is the reason, right? That just might as well be rockets. Like that's how fast they are. I'm guessing there must be F-16s and F-15s, but that is some insane stats right there.
Chopped off in mid-flight and it would still be able to fly. And I can already hear the comment section now. Buh! The chubby Electron guy's so dumb he needs to go back to high school physics class. That's not how any of this works. Buh. No, that's exactly how this works, and guess what? If you don't want to believe me and what's theoretically possible on paper, you don't have to, because this has already happened in real life. In 1983, an F-15 had a mid-air collision, completely lost one wing, and then proceeded to fly 10 more miles and then land safely. Okay, and if that's not enough proof that it's basically a rocket, you can look at how an F-15 takes off. I'll show you the footage. The minute it clears the runway, it goes straight vertical and breaks the sound barrier. It is one of the only planes on the planet that can do that. Well, even if it is that fast, common sense dictates that they had to make a bunch of design compromises, and I bet the F-15 has hardly any firepower because of it. You know what? For once, you're right. That is what common sense would dictate, because that's what every other country does. If they want to go really fast, they either have to sacrifice firepower or maneuverability. However, here's what you're not taking into consideration. This is America. We don't make cents. We make dollars, and this thing has more firepower than any other fighter jet in the American fleet. Yeah, more bombs, more missiles.
No firepower? What are you? What are you? This is America, Jack. Firepower is all we do here. If this thing can fly that fast, right, basically can yeet out of the atmosphere if it needs to, it's gonna have firepower 10 times higher than that, because this is America.
And on the off chance that isn't enough, it's also equipped with an M61 Vulcan 20mm Gatling cannon in case it needs to tell somebody to get fucked at 6,000 rounds per minute.
Really? Ooh!
So just so we're all on the same page,
that
even
is
though the
scary
F-15
sound.
is over 50 years old, it is still the fastest and most heavily armed fighter jet in the American fleet. And did I mention that it can also go like 3,000 miles without needing to refuel? Meaning that it's also extremely versatile logistically speaking, because it can fly from America.
What? 3,000 miles? That's like 5,000 kilometers. How the fuck a jet plane can have that much fuel, man? Wait a minute. Are all jet planes have this kind of like, not this, but obviously close to this type of... Because I always assume that jet planes not going to have that much fuel. So they're like going to be short burst things, because obviously why would they're supposed to be nimble, right? Big ass jumbo jets like 747, things like that would have like lots of fuel, but not jet. How the fuck this thing can basically land at UK from the fucking America? Basically going to mark God knows how. This is insane, man. I didn't know that.
To Europe without needing aerial refueling. And here's the kicker, none of that is the reason it's the most gangster fighter jet of all time. It's the most gangster fighter jet of all time because this thing is the epitome of a pro gamer move. It has a real world combat record of 104-0. It is downed 104 enemy aircrafts and been shot down 0 times in return. It is the only aircraft to lose a wing, continue flying, and land safely. It's the only aircraft to ever shoot down a satellite while it was still in outer space. Yeah, America did that during the Cold War. We shot down one of our own spy satellites to send a message to the Soviet Union that we could do it to their satellites too. And my personal favorite, it is the only aircraft to ever score an air-to-air kill using a bomb. Not an air-to-air missile, a bomb. Yeah, in
What?
1991, during Desert Storm, it actually hit a moving Mi-24 Hind helicopter with a GBU-10 bomb. Yeah, this one.
How? How the fuck? It's like drop bomb, right?
That is a 2,000-pound general-purpose bomb, and it just hit a moving helicopter with it. That is absolutely unheard of. In conclusion,
Who was
while
that?
the F-15 is no longer the best fighter jet on
Who was the pilot? Who the fuck was the pilot? You need to talk about that. Like that, I don't care like what system you have. Like you can't just do that unless you know what the fuck you're doing. How do you use like a dropping bomb on a moving helicopter? And you are on a jet, man. Like you're already in high speed, right? Anybody play Grand Theft Auto knows like if you're on jet, it's really hard to aim at anything. And one of the most insane things in GTA with the jet you can do is slow down. Also in like Just Cause, in the if you're doing with the jet, you like slowing down and hitting was the biggest issue. This is fucking real life, and somebody did this shit.
the planet because it's been replaced by the F-22 Raptor. I feel pretty confident in saying that it will go down in history as the greatest fighter jet of all time. And that history is still being written because America is coming out with another F-15, the F-15EX Eagle II. And that's going to have to be its own video some other time. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com.
Okay, I hope he makes a video. Seriously, like this channel has become my favorite now because all this information, I've never heard of it. I'm pretty sure I've never come across any other channel that talks about this. And I fucking love it. All this information is just awesome. And somehow, like one thing I would also notice, like all the things he covers is just like something that would make you excited. It's not something like, oh, that's fun to know. No, it's all like, holy shit type of thing. That is awesome. All right, well, that was F-15 Eagle. I heard of that, if F-15 Eagle. I'm pretty sure I heard of that before. So F-16 is the most famous one, right? Like probably replaced this one or something, or was had a different job, right? F-15 is different, F-16 is different, with the same engine. Might have different jobs, I don't know. But this is like F-15 Eagle, the most gangster fighter jet. Another gangster series. I like whenever Fighter Nutrition's title says gangsters, I'm like, I have to watch that one. All right, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe. Comment if you want to do any specific reaction, or if you have a problem with this type of setup, then I'll stop doing this mobile thing, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you next time.